Claire, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. How are you getting on? How are you finding the season?
Really good. I think it's been a really positive start for us. I think the first 4 games, it was nice to get some results from those, and then we're just on our way.
It does feel like you've got off to an amazing start, and it feels like there's a unity in the team that is really, really good to watch. We're all looking from the outside. What's it like on the inside?
Yeah, it's quite nice. I think that togetherness and unity comes from being really, really prepared. Like, I feel like we're going out, we're technically prepared. Throughout the week of training, we focus on what we need to work on, and I think it's very clear of our objectives and our roles within the team, so it makes it easier for us to perform on the weekend.
When you talk about preparation, what does that look like in the average week? Where are you getting more preparation, perhaps?
I just think in team meetings, like, there's more of a specific focus on, our objectives in and out of possession, where we can capitalise, where we can nullify some of their strengths, but also just spending time on pitch in, specific areas or specific subgroups where it gives us the opportunity to, tighten up details and be prepared for the weekend.
Have you got a standout moment so far, or a performance so far that you look at and think, yeah, we nailed that?
I think Everton away was a really good performance for us. It was still quite early in the season. We had a lead early and kept the lead in the second half. And then I think with the ball, it was probably one of our better games, but without the ball in the second half, we just had to, I suppose, stay in a mid to low block and see out the game. And I think we did that quite well.
Quite cool to control a game like that as well. I can't remember the last time that I've seen the side look so composed with a lead and just like very much like everything was completely under control.
Yeah, it feels that way too. It's actually nice to be on the park, and if you're a bit under the pump, similar to Chelsea, like in the first half, we were under the pump, but I think in the first half they had 1 shot on target, which sometimes when you're watching it doesn't feel like that, but when you're on the pitch and you're controlling some of their attacks and defending your corners and defending the box really well, it feels okay to be out of control but still, maintain control within the squad.
Comfortably uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. That's such an interesting feeling because I think it's counterintuitive for most fans watching.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe for fans they don't feel that, but it feels different.
It's nice for us, yeah, but probably difficult for fans to watch when the momentum is against us, but it's nice to kind of be in control of what we're doing.
Can you compare for me the Chelsea and the City games? I suppose a couple of weeks on, it definitely felt like there was a change there, certainly against Chelsea, who obviously lead in the way and haven't lost in the league for a long, long time. So what changed? How did you find that closeness?
I think when we played City, obviously an exceptionally strong squad, and I think they're quite lethal in front of goal, and I think we dealt with Chelsea quite well. Like, their attacks came from wide areas, and I think our fullbacks did really, really well to close that down. So it was almost like, even though they were making box entries or they were having, a lot of set pieces, particularly in the first half, I think we dealt with the pressure quite well, whereas against City, it was almost like a bit relentless, the pressure, and they actually capitalised on the opportunities they had, whereas I think we closed down a lot of Chelsea's opportunities in the first half. So I would say that's probably why the scores were quite different as well. But I think the team's building towards, a mentality and a phase of play where we can go, we are under pressure, but we're going to absorb it and we're going to continue to play and to maintain our, standards in and out of possession. So I think Chelsea was probably a more well-rounded performance defensively for us when you compare it to City. But yeah, it's nice to be in a team where we can, hold on to decent results, particularly in the first 5 to 6 games.
Definitely feels like the defence is that foundation though. You guys have been brilliant to watch at the back this season.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
I think like the being prepared tactically is a big one, and we do a lot of work, and it's not just back four, because I think this season particularly, like, everyone's defensive shape from front to back makes an enormous difference on what we have to face as a backline. So I think everyone in front of us is making it quite easy for us to deal with the scenarios that we are given, but I think as a backline we're really, really prepared throughout the week. Tactically we know, where we need to be, what we need to focus on, but also understanding our opposition as well. So knowing the strengths of some players, who we come up against and how to nullify that. I think I go into games feeling prepared, so I think for me and that brings confidence too. So once you feel prepared, it's kind of easier to play the game. So I think we're going out there with an air of confidence and playing with ease. And
what about you and Tōko? What's clicked there? Where has that stemmed from?
I don't know. I get along with her quite well. I feel like when I was in Paris, I found it very hard to communicate, and I feel like her English, she's developing. So for me, I'm like, I can try and make it easy for her. Because when I was over there, I found it exceptionally hard to like connect with players because I couldn't, ask questions or communicate as effectively as I can in English. So I found that really hard, but I know that her English is good enough where she can express herself. So for me, I ask her lots of questions, and I feel like we've found a way to communicate with each other on and off the pitch. And yeah, she's a bright little spark too. So she doesn't give that away, but she's very clever and she's very switched on. So I get along with her quite well, and she's a ball of fun.
That's really cool though, that you're able to bring your own experience to that it's something that you go, okay, that was difficult for me, so I want to make sure that you don't have that.
Yeah, and I think like culturally, again, it's a big shift for her, and I think everyone forgets like the way she plays, you forget that she's 19. So it's amazing to be around a player of such talent and such composure at such a young age. So I feel like I'm learning as much from her as she is from the rest of the squad. So yeah, it's amazing to have a player like her on our team.
And what about yourself? Because you're in brilliant form. Does it feel like anything's changed for you personally?
I feel like having that partnership has helped me. Like that brings me a sense of confidence again, having the confidence of the staff and feeling that preparation, come to the forefront. I think having a good pre-season, but also challenging for me. So I found, where I needed to improve and things that I needed to work on. And now I feel like I'm in a really steady flow and just finding my feet and enjoying playing football. Okay.
So how do you think about improving your game, and what is, like, if I could be incredibly nosy, what is something that you're proud of that you go, I've really gone to work there and I feel really confident in that area now?
Okay. I feel like for me, it's not hard to recognise weaknesses, particularly when you play in games and you might make an error or make continuous errors. And I think for me, like I see sometimes in training, I'll have an action that, finds me in trouble multiple times during a training session or throughout a training week. And then I can look at that and go, okay, what am I doing wrong? I also have support from staff who give me cues and help me there. So I think there's small bits on and off the ball, and I think once you get to a professional level, it becomes like minute levels of detail. And I also think that's where Martin and his support staff are quite attuned to those small things that you can adjust quite quickly, which leads to a probably quicker result than if I was trying to figure it out by myself. So yeah, I feel like there's bits I can improve on and off the ball, and I feel like if I dedicate time to it, it gives me an opportunity to see those rewards. And sometimes I don't reap those rewards initially. It takes weeks and months and years. But I think if I look at my career, across time, what I'm doing now, I might have not been as effective at 2 years ago or 4 years ago. So I think when you have a bigger picture process, and it's just like, hopefully when I'm having this conversation in 4 or 5 years time, I can look back and go, wow, like how I've developed as a player. And I think that's the nature of the sport, is it's almost like you're doing it for enjoyment and for the process of becoming the best footballer you can be. And that's how I see the game. So for me, it's almost just like, how can I develop myself over the next 5 to 6 years?
That sounds like you need a lot of patience.
Yeah, and I don't have any of that. Yeah.
Has it changed as you've developed in your career? Do you think you've started to appreciate time more?
Yeah, I think like my career was very, like, I almost got thrown into a World Cup, was my first like international experience. So and to have such success in that World Cup, I was like, oh, like this is amazing. And then
this is how it'll always be.
Literally. And then when you start to play football more consistently, you see dips in form, you see you come up against difficult opposition, or there's a time where you might be away from home and struggling with that. So it's just like balancing all of these variables and still being able to go out and perform, I think, is amazing. And it's the players that can continuously do that. Like, I have an appreciation for the girls and men that go out and continuously perform for 10, 15 years. So I think it's about finding that consistency, and when you find things that work, you keep doing them, and when you find things that don't, you just, I suppose, like adjust your sails and go again. So yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about Australia then?
Yeah.
What's it going to be like when I know you have done this before, but you're going to meet up here and basically create a little corner of Australia in Cardiff and then at St George's Park?
Yeah.
So what would that be like for you?
Really, really nice. I think it's so funny. I get to certain times of the year, and particularly I feel like October's a big one because we have a camp in maybe June, July, and then I don't see many Aussies or like the national team until like October, November. So I think for me, I hit that 4-month mark, and I'm like, oh, I need some Aussies, you know. So, but it's quite nice. For me, it's really refreshing to have a change of environment. Slight, you know, changing the way we play or slight change in coaching style, it almost just keeps you fresh and keeps you on your toes. So it's nice to adjust to playing, you know, with different players, different style of play, and then come back here and go again.
And 2 good fixtures as well.
Great fixtures, yeah.
How much are you looking forward to the Lionesses game?
Really, really keen. I think last time we played here, we beat them 2-0. No. So it'll be a great fixture, and they're just coming off an incredible Euros tournament. So I'm excited to play against it.
And I suppose attendances wise as well. I mean, you get unbelievable attendances back home, but similar here, right? You'll get to play in front of a packed house. Yeah. It'll be a game that, even though it's kind of a friendly, it's got a lot riding on it still. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, I feel like any game against England's not friendly, but it's nice to have difficult opposition in our fixtures coming into the Asian Cup.
Just finally, what has shifted in terms of expectation now in the season? Because I think naturally anyone from the outside looking in would have looked at last season and thought, okay, Spurs are going to have to try and find their way out of a really tough scenario. It maybe feels like that entire narrative has been thrown away and switched up. What's the expectation now for you guys as a group?
I think the expectation for us is like we set our standard in the first 6 games, and I think we can continue to build on that and maintain that standard throughout the season. And obviously there's going to be, you know, some incredible performances. We're going to come up against tough opposition. And I think can we, you know, take the points against opposition where we know we can dominate the game, and then against, you know, tougher opposition, can we go into that game and not fear the opposition, respect the opposition, but go into games and you know, it's 11v11, like it's a game of football and anyone can take the win. So I think hopefully we can pull some more results against some top 4 teams and keep ourselves, you know, in contention at the top of the table.
Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend and good luck against Wales.